Hi everybody, and welcome to your training course on injury and illness prevention. For this training course, you're going to need an activity. The activity for this course looks like this. At the top it says Injury and Illness Prevention Activity, and you'll be filling this out as the video progresses. So in order to get us ready to learn about injury and illness prevention, I'm going to start with a little introductory video. So bear with me as I set that video up for us. So here it is. Okay, so I hope you liked that video, and I hope it got you ready to learn all about illness, injury, and prevention, and why it's important for all of us in the workplace. So we're going to go over a PowerPoint slide now that's going to outline the main ideas and make sure that we all know how to prevent injury and illnesses in the workplace, but also how to report them if they do occur. So bear with me one more time as we get prepared to go over this PowerPoint together. Okay, so injury and illness prevention is documented in the Title 8 of the California Code of Regulations, and it's in Section 3203, should anybody want to look into it in further detail. So there's some statistics in the medical field that have to do with injury and illness prevention, and we're going to go over those statistics. So there's $15,860 that is the average injury claim in hospitals. In addition to that, there's another $22,300 that is claimed for lost time and injuries, and that's in addition to the $15,000. So if a replacement needs to be hired and trained in order to replace the injured worker, there's an estimated cost of between $27,000 and $103,000. Injuries are common reasons why nurses leave the profession. So as you can see, as you kind of add up all these numbers, the cost of injury and illness in the workplace is very high. So Injury and Illness Prevention Plan is also called IIPP, and this is an umbrella safety program that details how the organization will protect employees from hazards in the workplace that can lead to injury claims. There's 8 components of the IIPP model, and they are responsibility, compliance, communication, hazard assessment, accident or exposure investigation, hazard correction, training and instruction, and record keeping. So your department should be communicating with you about these things. Your department supervisor should communicate with you about safety by using handouts, posters, emails, face-to-face discussions, training, meetings, and online training. Job safety analysis, for short, is called JSA. Supervisors should conduct JSAs by doing the following: review tasks that have caused injury, review near misses, review all jobs that have undergone changes in procedure, develop procedures to train employees, monitor PPE, which is just protective equipment, which we'll be going over in upcoming training, and monitor the machines, break tasks into steps to identify potential hazards, and recommend actions to eliminate or minimize hazards. So there's different types of injuries as outlined in illness and injury prevention by the state of California. And these are some of the main type of injuries. So there's overexertion, which is injuries from excessive lifting, pushing, pulling, holding, carrying, and throwing. So in order to prevent that, you want to get help or use assistive devices or use proper lifting techniques. There's also falls. So these are injuries from a person falling to the floor. This does not include tripping or slipping without actually falling. So in order to prevent falls, you want to keep your work area clutter-free, clean spills immediately, repair any damages to the floor, and display hazard signs when needed. Then there's bodily reaction. These are injuries from bending, reaching, standing, sitting, or slipping without falling. So in order to avoid these, you want to use assistive devices when needed and maintain proper posture. There's also an injury where you can be struck by an object. And this is when workers are struck by objects such as a tool falling from a cabinet or something like that. So you want to wear proper PPEs when needed. This includes safety glasses. You want to use stools instead of reaching into high cabinets. Definitely don't stand on any of the chairs that we have around office or the spinning chairs, but get a proper stool or ladder and get help when you're getting something out of a high cabinet. Injury and illness incident report form. You must report injuries to an individual, damage to the property or the environment, and any near misses. And these must be reported on the injury and illness incident report form. So if an injury happens or an incident happens, you need to contact your supervisor and ask them for an illness and injury incident report form. And that looks like this. So hopefully you guys can all see that. It's a form that you need to fill out and process through your supervisor and your department manager. So again, contact your supervisor to request a copy of this, fill it out with as much detail as possible, and then submit it to either your supervisor, your department manager, or your employer, your administrator, HR, somebody above you. You need to submit this form to them. California Criminal Liability Act. So in 1990, the California Penal Code in section 387 designed a law to protect workers and to protect the public. This law makes organizations and their managers criminally liable when they fail to warn their employees and report to Cal OSHA the existence of serious concealed danger of which the corporation and its managers have actual knowledge. Convictions can involve fines or imprisonment. The right to know about chemicals. So the Hazard Communication Standard, which is also called HAZCOM, was created by Cal OSHA to provide individuals with information about the chemical hazards on the job and to know how to protect themselves. So hazardous chemicals, they can cause acute health problems, they can cause chronic health problems, they can cause a sudden release of pressure, which can cause things to explode. They can also be flammable or reactive. So I don't know about you guys in your homes, but recently in my home, personally, I've been investigating a lot of the chemicals I have, just even in household products. And you'd be surprised how strong these chemicals are that we use. So you want to make sure that you're reading all the information about how to properly use the chemicals. Even like Clorox wipes, you should really be using gloves with those. So make sure that you protect yourself and that you know about these chemicals that you're coming in contact with. We have, I think this goes over it, yeah, material safety data sheets are called MSDS. And employers are responsible to make MSDS available to all employees. Employees are responsible to read these and to follow the labels and instructions. So you can also look up any chemical on this website, which I have linked in for you right under this video on the training website. You can find the direct link. You just click on the link and it'll take you to that website so that you can look up any chemical that you work with and find out what the proper precautions are and what possible injuries or illnesses that chemical can cause. So anytime a new chemical is distributed, employees should be advised or trained. This may be as simple as a 5-minute talk at the end of a department meeting. So it doesn't have to be something complex. But if a new chemical is coming into the workplace, an employee needs to be trained and they need to know where they can find the MSDS on that chemical. Information regarding chemicals can also be distributed via email, and you want to keep a copy of anything you distribute so that you have proof that you've distributed this information to employees, because it's very important that employees have access to this. So this is an example of a material safety data sheet, or an MSDS, that we have here at Palm Imaging and Empire Orthopedic Center. This one in particular is talking about the chemical called Cydex, which I know that the ultrasound technicians use every day in their job. And it just talks about the emergency overview, the properties that might affect your health. It talks about, I mean, everything. What could happen if it's ingested, if it comes in contact with your eye or your skin, all that stuff. So very important that you guys get a hold of these MSDS sheets and check them out. See what's on there and see how you can properly protect yourself from these chemicals that you come in contact with at work. So if you want to watch that exciting introductory video, again, there's the link to the video. And that concludes our PowerPoint presentation for this training session. I hope that you guys learned something about injury and illness in the workplace. I hope that you learned that it's very high in cost when injuries happen. And so I hope that you will prevent these things from happening in the workplace. And also make sure you fill out those incident report forms should you need to, and check out the MSDS sheets so that you can know what you're coming in contact with every day. Don't forget to fill out your activity and hand it to your supervisor. And congratulations on completing your course in injury and illness prevention. I definitely will see you in the next video.